Okay, so I quickly wanted to show you all like what app like I recently saw, and this particular screen is actually a screenshot from the Instagram, but then I saw this app Pimp My Trip. It's actually on the App Store, and I really like the design idea of this whole application. Like these small boxes, and then they have this specific font in them which makes them look really unique and they stand out, and the color scheme of this app is also really good. And I would actually like to use some of the design elements from this application to like add it to my own app. And this was this, and then we actually have some of the assets that we are going to use. So I have designed an app logo. You could actually use this. I would provide you with all of these things, but in case if you don't want to use this, you could actually have your own app logo design in whatever designing software you prefer and all, and then you could make this. Let's how about we open Xcode, select iOS, then we select application, and then we click on next, and let's just name this my my social media media app. And it's completely up to you what name do you want to put here. The team, obviously would select a team where you already have an Apple developer account, and even if you don't have, you could actually skip the last part of this course and you would still have this one portfolio app to showcase. And there's your development thing. And how about we put this here, so the bundle identifier goes like this: my social media app. And don't worry too much about the organization and the identifier right now, because when we will be working with App Store Connect and everything, we would actually learn how you could register your app bundle identifier onto the App Store Connect as well, so it makes things easier on the Apple developer website and all. So for the interface, you would select Swift UI, the language is Swift, storage would be none. You don't need to include test, and then we could click on next and select somewhere where you can store our application. So this is here, and I would actually not prefer using the the preview inspector, because it just makes the whole thing very slow. So let's just zoom in, and here we are with the application. And how about we could just select one 15 plus or something, and just build the app once on that. So we would continue to use this specific phone for that purpose. And yep, then we would actually move on to using the font that I have provided you with, and we would see how we can use that font right here in this very own screen as well. So I think it's installing. Let's just wait for a few seconds. Meanwhile, how about we just import our font right here, and it would ask you to add to targets. This must be checked. Create folder references and copy items if needed. You click on finish. Your app is there. And now what we would do is actually create a new group, call this resources, and the assets and the font would go inside resources. Our main application file would go inside this folder named core. And how about we keep this one inside a folder named views. So this makes things a little more cleaner for us. Meanwhile, the app is building. So now that we have added our font to our the application, how about we go to the main app screen. Here you would see the info.p list. You right click on any of these and click on add row. You type in fonts provided by application. Once it's added, you click on this arrow, and besides item.0, you would actually triple click on this, copy the entire thing, go back to info.plist and add this here and click on enter. So once you have done this, okay, it's still building. So once you have done this, you will notice that the info.plist has appeared right on the project navigator as well. How about we move this here? But that actually creates a small problem for us. So meanwhile, the app has built and it says hello world as per our content view. This is good. How about we sort the info.plist thing out? Because right now, if you try to run it again, you will notice that it will throw us an error. And this specifically states build input file cannot be found, and it's giving us the whole entire location. And it says, did you forget to declare this file as an output of a script phase or custom build? This basically means that the info.plist it's trying to refer to, it's not in this location because now it's inside one more layer, which is our resources folder. So the basic most thing is that we go to the main application area, then we go to general, or maybe you could just search it up here info.plist. It should show us the path and info.plist. Click on enter, you scroll down a bit, it says info.plist file. Here right before info.plist we will add resources and click on enter. How about we run this now? So now it builds. So that is one thing done, and let's just wait for it to get built. Meanwhile, if you just go to the resources section assets, we would use the app icon. We would also have the app icon here. We would also have the images right here. So if you see, there are the images that I have used somewhere inside the app for like profile pictures of sample users as well as for some background artwork. So I just got all of these from some sample app on Behance as well. So it's completely up to you which kind of illustrations you want to use inside your app. I selected them because they're kind of unique, I thought. So this is it. I think we don't even need these profile images here, so we can delete them from here because we would actually need them inside our simulator. So if we select this thing, we select this, select these 5 images, we drop down to simulator, and it opens them up inside its photo editor, the photos app. So now that this is done, we can close this out, we can select this again. We don't really need the image assets thing anymore. Now what we would do is actually write some code, because you see the font that we have added, this is not honestly the actual name of the font, and there's a way to find it out. And usually in case if you get it from some authentic source, they have this exact name, but then sometimes it's also that it refers to some other name. It's just the name of the file for now. So in order to do that, let's just run a loop to find the whole font family inside our application, like what all fonts are present, we'll get to know them. So we'll go for family names dot sorted. Is it sorted? Yep. And then we could do create a constant, let names is equal to UI font. Then we would access font names and it would be family, and we can just print them out here, and we would say it should be the family of the font would be family, but then the font names would be names. So basically what we are doing here is that for a specific font, there must be italic, ultralight, bold, extra bold. So we are just trying to list them all down here in the console area so that we can find out which one is ours because we want a bold one specifically. So let's just run the app again and we will notice that it should soon just print out the names of the font in the console area. And here you go. Like how about you could see this right here, but how about we still filter it? And okay, so we have the font here, and next thing to do is to actually create another folder inside application, and we would call this folder new group. Let's call this constants because we're going to be having constants both for images, colors, fonts as well. So how about we create a folder altogether for all of these stuff, and we create a Swift file and we call it fonts, and we click on create. Now that this is made, we could just easily write a structure. We will call it fonts, and this is just to easily access the font name because we don't want to hard code it every time we want to use it, because that makes it really hectic in a way that you have to go again and again, check the right spelling, put it all down. Now you could easily just access it using fonts.bold and it would give out this value, and it's easy to use it that way. So now that we have done this much, how about we go to our views and we just use it here. We'll say font. Now to use a custom font, you initiate a font class, you write custom, then in the name you would actually write fonts dot bold and the size would be 30. So how about we give it a go and see for ourselves if it's working or not. And there you go. You can see the font has changed and it is actually using a custom font that we have added in the application. Okay, so moving forward, we would be going over the other stuff and we would be starting with the authentication screens. And then we would have a view model and an authentication view. And we would actually start to integrate Firebase also shortly after. So first, let's just create a basic UI with buttons and all, and then we would integrate a whole project with Firebase. We'll register our app onto Firebase, and then we could just start using the Firebase functionality there onwards. Okay, so I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.